Thank you. And please give us a few minutes while waiting for more people to join, then we'll start shortly. Glad to see all of you here. And for people that are joining, yeah, please introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. What's your name and where are you dialing in from? So, my name is Mayokun, and I'll be your host for the session. And, alongside me, we have other members of the Borderless Foresight team, our esteemed speaker, and brand associate Ajake. So before we dive in, before we officially start, right now you're all muted. Please keep it that way. And if you have any questions, or comments, just drop it in the chat box. Then, sometime during the session or at the end, we'll address your concerns. Yes, please stay active. Please hold on to your notepads, take notes, and then you can actually truly go away with something from this session. So to begin, let's start. What is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program all about? Who is that? Like someone just unmuted. Yeah, okay. Please keep yourself muted. All right. So what is, the scholarship all about? It's shortened from is also called Erasmus Mundus. You might have been seeing it. There are different versions of it. But then the point is that it is one of the most prestigious, fully funded scholarships in the world. And it's called a joint master's because it's a master's program that brings together, multiple universities across multiple countries in Europe. So that means that if you get selected for this scholarship, you're not just studying at one university. You may end up studying in 2 or 3 different universities in different countries. So you might start your first semester maybe in France, move to Italy, and finish up in Sweden. So it's a very amazing scholarship. And what makes it even better is that it's fully funded all across. Your tuition, travel expenses, visa, and even a monthly living allowance. Yeah, it's all going to be paid for. So, that's the benefits of the scholarship, at least financially. But then it's not just about the finances, it's also about the connections that you make during the scholarship because you're going to be meeting so many different people all across the world. And by the time you are done with the masters, you already have like a strong network, an international network. So that's basically a head start for your career, whether you're in academia or you're in policy making, whatever it is that you choose to, diverge into, you have a network to begin with. So a lot of alumni, that finished from the scholarship, they said the experience actually changed their lives. It changed how they're going to view their careers because it opens up your world. It's like a whole new perspective. So, this workshop, we want you to understand, what the scholarship is about, but also how you can approach it strategically. Like, what is the right program for you? And, if you've chosen the right program, how do you prepare a strong application? And, there's no better person that can take you through that than our esteemed speaker. Some of you may already know him. Some of you came in from his, WhatsApp. But then, that is, Mr. Paul Eweola, and he's a current Erasmus scholar. So that is why he's the best person to take you through this. And, he's ready and has been ready to start this. So, Mr. Paul, over to you.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, maybe good evening from wherever you're joining from. Kindly give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. Kindly give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, thank you. I'd like to say a very big welcome to everyone for today's amazing session. Thank you, Mayokun, for the wonderful introduction. And for those who joined the first workshop on Chevening Scholarship, and those who applied, we're wishing you all a very successful application. For those who took the information and are trying to improve their profile for the next application, we are so sure that the information from the last workshop would help you. And also for those who attended the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship Workshop, and I think in 2 weeks' time, it should be open. A week or 2 weeks' time, it should be open. I believe that the workshop that was done and the video guide that I did will help you develop strong applications. And also in coming days and weeks, the service platform will go live for those who are interested in reaching out to with help on review applications and CVs at very, very discounted. It's more like at commitment fees, very, very discounted. It would go live also on the platform. It's going to be announced via the newsletter. So, and however, these are some of our free sessions, the workshops that we do entirely free. And also towards the ending of the training, we're also going to be announcing a particular program that we are open for selected people, very, very free. That's free of charge. However, it is very limited. But the platform for continuous services, because people reach out to me and say, okay, aside the free calls that you do, because the free calls are only for people who had registered ahead, who had applied ahead. So we have free calls, clarity, and all of that. But those who want to reach out anytime, you need to go through the booking platform and you see the terms and agreement. But because I understand that they're for students, they're almost at very, very discounted fee, like very, very, except for business professionals who are reaching out to me for business development and every other activities. All right, so let's get right into it. Who is pumped for today's session? How many of us are pumped for today's session? How many of us are pumped? I want to see from the chat box. How many of us are actually pumped for today's session? Or maybe we should just, from the chat box, let me see how many response. One, I can see just one person. Maybe we just close it up from here. Okay, I can see two, I can see three. I can see four. So I have a question. Let's start with this simple quiz, right? I think it's now the battle of male and female. So let's going by the registration profile, which gender do you think has more application? Male or female? So that's the first question into knowing how the readiness, the preparedness of different groups, right? So how many, what percentage has the highest, what gender has the highest ratio? Okay, the females are saying female, the males are saying male. All right. So we had over 180 registrations. That's 180 registrations, and 50.6% are females, while 49.4 are males. So 50.6 are females, while 49.4 are males. That's quite interesting. Okay. Shall we? All right. I believe everyone can see my screen. Mayo, can you please confirm my screen? All right, permit me to mute everyone. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to mute everyone. Maya, can kindly confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So this workshop is going to be rich and well detailed. I would leave no secret behind. I'm going to pour out as much as possible for those who are interested in applying for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And as brief as the training will be, I'll try to make it touch points on the key aspects, because I believe that for everyone here who are interested in applying for Erasmus Mundus or scholarship programs generally, you have to be someone who is inquisitive. You have to be someone who is creative, and you have to be someone who has the ability to go deeper. So what I'm going to do is give important tips and secrets that can help your applications, right? Improve your applications, and some guidelines, right? With also background information about Erasmus Mundus. Because one thing everyone should understand is scholarships are beyond the four walls of the classroom, right? You can unlock and position yourself as a global entity. You can unlock your potentials. You can unlock your potentials. You can drive um, global influence through certain platforms. And one of them is the Erasmus Mundus, one of the world's top prestigious scholarship program by the European Union. So let me give you a background. I'm a marine scientist, by the way. I'm currently studying marine environments. I'm currently in Belgium, and I got the Erasmus Mundus scholarship last year in March 2024. That was when I got the scholarship. And I've had my first semester in France at the University of Bordeaux. I've had my second semester at Spain in Bilbao at the University of Basque Country. I'm currently having my third semester at Belgium, University of Liège. And my last semester is going to be for my thesis, where I can do anywhere in the world if I'm able to get a supervisor anywhere in the world. So I'm not limited. So that one thing that you need to know. And what has happened during this period, right? I will touching down on so many things that has happened during this period, including academics, including my profile, including my capacity, including my thinking faculty, and also other opportunities that has been unlocked, right? So sit tight, grab your popcorn, your pen, and your book. Very important. Your popcorn, your pen, and your book. So we have 8 highlights under this workshop, and all broken down. The first, we'll be looking at what exactly is Erasmus Mundus. How does the program works, right? How will you find the right program? And when you find the right program, what are the components? How do you build a strong application, right? And then we go a step further. I'll be giving a great tip about building a winning motivation letter, right? And also building a strong profile, right? So I'll go deep into these 8 highlights and see what we can do within the next 1 hour. All right. So I'll start with this famous word by Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That's the very first mindset shift I want every one of you to have. Because I know on this call we have people who won the Erasmus scholarship for various reasons. And now, what actually led me to my Erasmus Mundus study? So let me give you a background knowledge about what led to my Erasmus Mundus study. In 2018, so I studied fisheries and aquaculture technology at the University of Technology, Akure. And in 2018, I discovered my purpose. I discovered my career path, right? Because during my courses, we were taught about so many problems around coastal communities, so many marine problems, from pollution to different, human pressures, right? Pollution to overexploitation, management issues, variety of them. And it occurred to me that while people talk about problems a lot, there are few people with solutions. And when people offer solutions to marine biodiversity issues, they only offer solutions at the surface level, right? So this was what propelled me to develop my career path in marine conservation, right? And I was able to establish an NGO that is currently at the forefront of driving marine conservation initiatives, working in coastal communities to solve many of the problems that I was taught as an undergraduate, right? Started translating this technical information, scientific information to community-driven projects. So that was that was my entry level into marine environment, right? And my NGO started with education. Remember this quote: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That's why I'm giving you this background story. From the education I was exposed to as an undergraduate, that channeled my passion. I began to take courses, I began to attend programs and trainings. And in 2022, I got my first funding to address the issue of plastic pollution in coastal communities, because plastic pollution was one of the issues that was everywhere when you talk about marine pollution. You talk about plastics, right? So that was in 2022. I got an award by National Geographic Society. For those who know NAGIO, so National Geographic Society selected me as one of the young explorers in the world. I think we were 24 or 25 then, or 15. I can't even remember. I think 15 was thereabout. And I got my first funding to support the solution that I was providing to the problem of marine pollution. Right. So that was my entry. And from 2022 to 2023, I got another funding because I discovered another problem. Right. So it started with literacy. The first problem I discovered was literacy gap. I saw that, the course itself does not have a good PR, because when you tell people you're studying fisheries and aquaculture, they just think, okay, you end up having a pond at the back of your house. And I see this literacy gap. So I started with informing even my classmates, my course-mates. Started with ocean literacy, right? And from there, we saw the issue of pollution. From there, I saw the issue of climate change when we started going for field works. So the more we go out, the more I try to use the education I have as a tool, the more I am exposed to more problems, right? So I discovered that I need to strengthen my capacity, right? I need to strengthen my skill sets to solve these problems. And that was how started taking trainings, taking courses. And after my undergraduate studies, I was after my NYSC, after my NYSC, I think I was already done with my first project. Then another NGO in the United States of America funded my second project, right, to solve another problem. And from there, got more fundings, and we started working with large funders globally. So that's how education became a tool for me. And this helped me. I was invited by the African Union headquarters in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, to speak with room of great minds, of leaders, talking about what we have been doing in coastal communities, right? So this started from 2018, right from the corner of my lecture room, while I sat down to listen, right? I converted that information to a tool that drove me to drive impact. So that was the need to improve my capacity brought me to the Erasmus Mundus program, because I discovered that there are some issues that I cannot solve yet, because I needed advanced training, right? So I want to be an expert in marine pollution control, not just at the surface. Can you see that everything about me is revolving around the ocean? From my undergraduate degree to my NGO, when you look at the list of courses I'm taking. Why? Because I saw education as a tool. That's the first mindset shift you need to have. School is not scam. It's very okay for you to want to get the scholarship and become a global instrument. But I am saying this not as a proverb for as many of you who want to see this as a route to Jackpot. You are in the wrong room. You can finish with your Erasmus program and decide to stay wherever you are. But the main important information is that you utilize the information, utilize the education. And you will get to understand the reason why I said that. This is not a link for Jackpot. People who just want to live and are desperate. No. People who are living to strengthen their capacity, who have a focus, who have drive. So that's the first thing. Now, I hope I have not offended some of us already in the house. If you're offended, say yay, say yes. Say yes if you're offended. Okay, if you're not offended, say I.
I.
All right, all right. Okay, let's go to the next one. What exactly is Erasmus Mundus? That's the next question, because if I'm going to be talking to everyone about Erasmus Mundus, I need to let you understand what is Erasmus Mundus first. What is it about? It is an European Union funded initiative. It started in 2004 for international master's program. This is an initiative where you can have your master's program in more than one country or more than one institution. It is a master's program delivered by a consortium. So let me give an example. The University of Unilag, you have your master's in University of Unilag, you have your first semester in Unilag, you have your second semester in FUTA, you have your third semester in FUNAB. And when you are done, they give you a joint master's degree. So your joint master's degree shows that Paul Ayomide Eweola has a master's degree in marine biology, and they list the 3 universities where you were trained. So that is simply what the Erasmus program is about. And it has more than 150 joint master's programs. There are different master's programs. And you get to study in at least 2 countries. Majority of them, at least 2 countries. For me, I have studied in 3 countries. There are some who both semesters are in 2 countries. While some, it could be 3 or 4. And also, this Erasmus Mundus has full funding. While some apply for the Erasmus Mundus and they might be selected for self-funding, there's also availability for scholarships. And most times you get either a joint master's degree or a double master's degree. Now, some programs would give you one, that's a joint master's degree. While some programs, after you get the joint master's degree, one of the schools would give you another master's, another diploma. So that is what the Erasmus Mundus is about. So you have the example of Unilag and FUTA and FUNAB. That is exactly how it is. Now, let's have a glance at Erasmus Mundus. So I like my PowerPoint to be more of graphics and pictures, right? Now, when you look at this map, look at this first one here. Erasmus Mundus scholarship holders, those that have gotten the Erasmus Mundus scholarship holders by region of origin. If you look at it, those in Asia have the highest percentage. Sub-Saharan Africa, I think we come fourth. So when you have this, I'm trying to change this narrative of Nigerians, they are everywhere. Can you see now that there is much work to be done? Don't let anyone and say, Nigeria. No, we need to strive for our place in the global society. Asia leads here. Erasmus country in blue, come next. Latin America, come next. Other European Union, in fact, that's first, second, third, fourth. Sub-Saharan Africa, fifth. That is where Nigeria falls under. Fifth. Can you see? So it means that we are just on our way. So this is having Erasmus Mundus at a glance. So do not let anyone, so when you want to apply and they are saying people are applying for everything, no, do not agree to that. Because the fact that the number of applications does not equal the number of holders, those that are applied does not mean they are all holders. But of course, you know definitely that the higher the applications, right, the higher the chances of being selected. So when you leave that and you move to, sorry, hold on, and you move to Erasmus, the master's program. Currently, some programs started from 2004 and they ended in 2008. Why some started in 2009 and ended in 2013. Some started in 2014 to 2020. Now, the ongoing ones are those that are still on ground, and there are more than 150. I think about 218 or 19 programs currently that are ongoing for self-funding and also for scholarships. So this is at a glance. Now let's move to the next slide. Now from 2004 to 2024, more than 50,000 students have participated in the Erasmus Mundus program. And 179 countries have been represented. 179 countries have been represented. Over 2.5 billion euro has been invested in the Erasmus Mundus program. I'm trying to widen our scope so that when you want to apply, first, you know the competition that you are up against, because your application needs to be top level. And that is why I am having this workshop to help all applicants. Because when you look at the competition you are against, look at how many countries are applying every year. Then you need to bring in your A game. You need to bring, you won't do your application like you want to, I wanna. No, you have to be certain. You have to be accurate. Remember when I was doing my applications, I review all my application documents, I think more than 5 times. Because if you don't do it well, others will do it better. Did you catch that? If you do not do it well, others will do it what? Better. So this is you giving us a glance. You can see the competition. And if you look at this, the number of programs are lesser. Ongoing programs are now smaller compared to the programs that were before. Some programs do not even have funding again. Some they're only doing self-funding. So if you are applying for the scholarships, you need to know that those that would apply for a program before, once the program does not have scholarship again, they will look for another program that has scholarship. And you see, so if initially program A usually has 500 applicants before, program B used to have 300 applicants before, but next year program B does not have scholarship. So those that need scholarship for program B will now come and join those that used to apply for program A. That makes it the competition what? Much stronger. All right. Now, when you look at the benefits for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, would you call it the gateway to the world? Where you have full scholarship that covers your tuition, that covers your travel from your own country, within countries, and pays you monthly stipend, and also ensures your safety. You have an insurance for the entirety of the 2 years. When you cough, you can just go to the health center. There's an insurance that will cover it. when you are sick, no matter wherever you are in the world. And you also have access to diverse and multicultural learning environments. You know, while I was in France, I interacted with some French people, some English. You know, when I was in Paris, it's a tourist environment. I met people from different part of the world, and during holiday, I traveled to about 3 or 4 countries with my Schengen visa. No issues. I could go by flight. I could go by road. I could go by train. Right, and the fact that you are even a student, if you have programs outside the European Union, you can even apply for a visa and you get it. Of course, if you apply well, you have real focus on why you are applying. So you have this diverse multicultural environment. You meet different people while you are even studying. Your class comprises students from different countries. In my class currently, we have people from the US, from New Zealand, from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh, from Cameroon, right? From China. You get to interact and you see that the world is not just a prison. So you are also able to network with global peers and professionals. You're able to network, learn from people, learn from your lecturers, learn from researchers, learn how to use advanced tools, and the real life and practical learning experience. That's one thing about the Erasmus Mundus program. You don't just learn within the four walls of your classroom. You go out to apply what you've learned. I have series of field works. For me, when I was applying for the Erasmus Mundus program, one of the things that I had in my essay was that I spoke about a particular problem that I cannot solve, right? Not that I cannot solve, but I am not confident in solving it because I do not have the required expertise. And guess what? Just 6 months, 6 months to 10 months into the program, I already have that skill. At least I have left the baseline where I used to be. So if probably I was at 2 on my skill level to solve that problem, I am now around 6 and 7. I am not even done yet. Because why? The real life and practical learning experience on how to conduct ecological assessments, how to conduct biomonitoring, you know. So not just going to coastal communities to do cleanups. That does not solve the problem, but I'm able to solve problems that are not visible to the eyes. Right. So I bring in my technical expertise, which means that on the job market labor, I'm among probably the top 1% that are scarce. Right? So the top 1% whose skill sets are scarce because everyone can organize cleanup, right? But how many people can reduce micro pollutants in a water body? Do you understand? So that is the real life and practical learning experience that it comes with. And this is the same thing for other programs. I am able to talk about my program because I'm using words on my program because this is what I am into. That's the same thing for those that study medical line, for those that study in international development, language. The real life learning experience is awesome. It's practical. You can practice it, right? So that's why I said a gateway to the world because of this access that it gives to you. Okay, now how does the program works? You see, from the first point, you leave your home country, you go to university 1 or country 1, then you go to university 2 or country 2 after your first semester. Then your third semester, you can either do it in university 2 or you go to another university. Like I said, I did my first semester in France, second semester in Spain. I'm in Belgium for my third semester. While some would have their semester either in the same country, that's 2 semesters in the same country, and do the third semester in another country, right? But at least you have to go through 2 countries, at least. And in between these 2 years, you have field trips. There's even opportunity for professional placements. And the last semester, which is the fourth semester, is your thesis. where you are deployed to a lab, you get a supervisor, and you work on a real-life project, right? So that is how it works. From your home country to first country, second country, or third country, and your thesis, then you graduate. And when you graduate, you can now, move to a country or go back to your home country to deploy what you have learned. To deploy what you've learned. And that takes us to the next one, finding the right program. Now, I've given us a brief about how Erasmus works. So I think everybody on this call should be able to say one or two things. In fact, you should know that the Erasmus program is for 2 years. You know that it's for 2 years, and you can have your semesters in different universities in different countries. And in between, you have field trips, right? And so 3 semesters for the courseworks and the field works, and the last semester for your thesis, and then you graduate. Now, that being said, how do you find the right program? That's the first question, because this particular point is something that is a particular issue that some have. Some people, right at the application phase, they have been disqualified. They have not submitted the application yet, but based on their choice of selection, they have been what? They have been disqualified. Why? Because they are applying for the wrong program. They are applying for the wrong program. So the first thing is you need to know where to find the programs. That is the Erasmus Mundus course catalog. And we are going to do some practicals here. When you go to the Erasmus Mundus course catalog, you can either filter or you go page by page. I would explain. And for each of the program, you need to read. The thing is, people just go and just, oh, I like this course, apply. No, you need to look at the eligibility criteria. Read about the page. And that is why I said, if you look at my story, I had a reason for applying for the course. And that guided me. I didn't apply for any other courses. I knew what I wanted to apply for. So your need, your goal should be the drive when you're applying. Your goal. So if you are coming with the mindset of jackpot, you would not be able to develop a constructive and creative application. But when you have a need, you'll be able to know what program would meet that need. Right? So someone who has no vision can take a bus to anywhere. But someone who has a goal knows that, okay, when I take this bus, will this bus take me to my destination? What bus would I take? What park would I get the bus? And where will I alight? So you need to understand. So these are components, critical components, because I would not want to go deep into it. So because I'm looking at how many of these things in the eligibility criteria, especially for those that are applying for courses, what should be your baseline, right? Because some people who want to apply for a master's degree and they do not even have their background, their undergraduate is not even related. I hope you know that one of the key points in scholarship application is your undergraduate degree. It's just like, see, it is just like a job application. If you want to employ an HR, would you employ a content manager? That's just it. So when you go through the profile, this person is a content manager or a marketing personnel, and is applying for an HR. There's no linkage. That is just the same way it is when you are applying. One way or the other, your academics, your undergraduate degree has to be linked to what you're applying for. I'll go deeper into that. So filter, you search by page. For each program, read about the program, the eligibility criteria, and about the partners universities. I'll give us some example. Then select 3 to 5 programs that align with your area of interest. 3 to 5. I would suggest you can apply for as many as possible, but for you to take your time to develop quality applications and you don't go out of focus, you need to just streamline your applications. Build a strong profile for 3, and you know that, okay, out of these 3, I should be selected for 1. Right. So let's do some practicals. Can everybody see my screen? The Erasmus Mundus catalog website. Okay, let me stop sharing this. All right. I believe everyone should be able to see my screen now.
It's still showing.
Okay. So this is where the work starts. So if you have not been attentive before, because all what I gave their overview and introduction, this is where the work starts. When you want to apply for an Erasmus Mundus program, this is the Erasmus Mundus catalog. Scroll down. I'm gonna just take it as simple as possible. You see Erasmus Mundus catalog 226. And you have how many pages? 12 pages. So which means you can either use the filter button, use keywords. For example, now, let's use myself as an example. I studied fisheries and aquaculture. I have an NGO that is driving marine conservation. I have experience, my thesis. I have experience and everything. So I need to develop my capacity in the area of marine pollution control. I want to control pollution in coastal communities so as to improve fish stock, the livelihoods, and the environment, even the people, right? Now, some people might not even know the right keywords. So what I would just suggest is I go through the courses one by one. And I begin to open courses that relate to my area of interest or my undergraduate studies. Of course, I would not be going for nuclear physics. Neither would I be going for theater in social participatory, because I do not have anything that relates to that. So I begin to scroll. I'm just trying to take it as simple as possible, right? I scroll. Then I say, okay, environmental contamination and toxicity, maybe, because it deals with contamination and toxicity and the environment. And I'm interested in courses that relate to pollution control. So I can just open in a new tab. Please, there are key buttons I should be able to use. You open in a new tab. You continue. Please hold on. So you continue. You keep scrolling. You go to the second page. So that way you are able to go through each of the courses one after the other. Now, when you see a course that interests you, or you see courses that interest you, when you click on the first link, that's the Erasmus Mundus Master's course, let's say now for Metronics, you see, some would take you to the program websites. Why some would take you to the Erasmus Mundus overview. So let me give you an example. Let's go back. Now, let's say we want to apply for, I'm interested in this. When I click on this big one, that's Erasmus Mundus environmental contamination. So I click on it. So this brought me directly to the website. Here, I will begin to read about the program. But sometimes when you click on it, sometimes there are some courses that they will bring you to the page that talks about the program, how much was spent, how much was this. So you would need to go back and click on the second link. Now, that can, for example, now this one is taking you to the course. So that's the point. So some just bring you to when you click on, you can see each program has two links, the first one and the second one. If you click on this first one, let me click on Europop Health so that you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to take it because these are some of the things you would see when you are searching for programs. Okay, this is even, I think everything, maybe probably everything has been done that way. Let me click on the second link to see what the second link would. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So there are usually two links. The first link will take you to the program directly. Why the second link will take you to information about that European Union program. Now, when you click on the second link, you can see the project status ongoing. Go and look at the end date. In fact, this is the first thing. Go and look at the end date. This program has funding from 2024 to 2030. Can you see it? So that you don't waste your time. Some people would not know. Some programs are ending this year. Some people will go and spend time reading about the program. So you have to be careful. So read about it. You can just get an update. Then you go ahead to read up about. Then you now go to the program website itself. So now we want to go to the Erasmus Mundus. This is the first link is for the website. So now when I go to this ECT Plus, I look at it. Ongoing. Oh, end date 2030. That's fine. It has a grant of 4.9 million naira, a million euro. That's okay. Then I would go to the first link. I want to go and read about the program, the eligibility criteria. Secondly, and also to read about the partner universities. I'm going to explain. So the first thing you do is read about the program. What is the program about? Remember that I said I am interested in programs that will teach me how to solve marine pollution, right? Now, the fact that some programs are key on that, it does not mean you are eligible to apply because the program might be very much interested in candidates that studied chemistry. Can you see that? So which means that I have to look at the page, go and look at the past, the alumni, those who have applied before. What background do they have? When they select people, where are they from? So the first thing is you need to do your background search. Like you have to be top notch. You have to be top notch in doing your background search. Now, I am trained in studying marine pollution control. This is the first program, environmental contamination. Another program is marine environment. Now, in marine environment, when I would read through, I might see something like selection criteria. So let's even start with this. Now, this is the about. You read about the program, read about the aims and objectives, and know if you fall in line, if you are the kind of student they want to train. So if you are a student in chemistry and you want to study the importance of pollutants, you want to study new pollutants that are emerging, this is a very good course for you. So I know about this course, as I won't go deeper. So you look at this study program, read the whole information, then you go to application. This application is where you check, so you don't waste your time. You go to application and you go to selection. So let's go to application first. Now, step 1, eligibility. You have to, the application is in 3 steps. Okay, you go through the first step, second step, and third step. Let me see. Now, mandatory documents for eligibility checking. Number 1, passport. Number 2, proof of proficiency. Then you go and check the language policy. Now, some programs, the only proof of proficiency that you need is a certificate of English language proficiency from your institution. Why some, you have to go further. So you have to check the language policy. You have to check the language policy. Now, this one states that language diversity in Europe is seen as an added value of studies. Students are provided with possibility of using the official language of 5 host countries. The language of instruction, English. Now, what are the English language proficiency that you can give? English language proficiency is a prerequisite. The minimum for non-native speakers is an IELTS of 6.5. Now, you will go further. Studying a degree, thoughts and access in English in a non-majority English-speaking country. This question says that applicants who have successfully completed a degree, thoughts and access in English in 2 years before the master's program will be considered for what? Admission. Can you see that? So you must be able to read. So all you need to do is just go to your university, get your language friends from a registrar and submit. Now, my university does something. FUTA does something. When FUTA gives you your transcripts, FUTA states on it that the language of instruction is English. So can you see it? Now, this is the course requirement. It does not mean that for all the courses, some courses would say, if you are not a member of XYZ country, you must submit an IELTS certificate. Can you see now? You must be able to do your due diligence. Okay. So that is part of it. Now, you go back and see other information, your BSc degree, your secondary school degree, your motivation letter. So you have to just read deeper. So then you go to selection. This is giving you the what are the things you have. Then you go to the selection to know, okay, what time will the selection be done? Now, please take notes. This is very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Selected students will be ranked according to the main selection criteria, and scholarships will be awarded according to this rank. Now, let me break it down. So many students apply for Erasmus program, right? But some programs are only able to offer scholarship, maybe 15 students out of maybe 300 or 400 people that are applying, or so. Some can only offer scholarships for 20. Can you see how competitive it is? Some 15. And it has to be by ranking, coupled with other criteria. Now, the first point says study and academic merits. Can you see it? Access through the degree, transcript, CV, experience, and relevant data. So which means that your program that you study is very important. Your background. Can you see this now? This second point says motivation and well thought out study program. It now says somewhere where evaluated by the motivation letter, intrinsic coherence of proposed study plan, research topic themselves with the applicant profile and what? And background. Can you see it? Applicant profile and background. You have a BSc in accounting. You want to apply for a program in neuroscience. You need to consider why there are people who their BScs in neuroscience. In fact, their project is linked to the one of the key areas of the master's program. Can you see that? It is just so you must be thinking about these components when selecting your programs. You must. So you have to read through. Like I said, not all programs require IELTS. Make sure you read through the language policy. Now, there are some programs that you would, for example, let's say someone studies, let's say, let me say accounting, and the person is interested in taking a program on data analysis, right? Now, the person should be able to link accounting, data analysis, then also have multiple experience. You know, you've done internship, you've taken so many courses, because you will need that in your motivation letter. So I just give an instance now. So when you're selecting a program, let it be a program where your BSc was a stepping stone and not the other way around. So that is how to select programs. Then for you to know, hey, what kind of, do they select people from my background for this course? You can go to the alumni list or just go on LinkedIn and search for the course. You will see some anomalies. So usually some program, let me see. I'm just trying to show you how you can play with all of these anomaly from the community. Let's go to anomaly. Yeah. Let's see. Some pages have the anomaly. Okay, this does not have. So you go to the anomaly and see the kind of programs, those that they award. What was their undergraduate degree? So you know if you should spend your time on that. See, this is one of the things that you need to do. It's just like going where you are wanted. That's why I said some people have already failed right from the beginning because they are where they are not wanted. I'm not going to use technical languages. I'm going to use simple languages. So the rule of the scholarship is going where you are wanted. There are so many programs that relate with your what area of interest. You have to look for them and go where you are wanted. So by the time you look through each of these things, when you are selecting a program, you must go through the program, go and check like I did. I checked the application, so you know the documents that you need. Check through the documents that you need one by one. Check through the documents, look at everything. You begin to work towards them. Motivation letter, proof of residence, everything. So you make them ready even before the application opens. Because let me tell you something. Some programs might even start selecting once they open the application. They do selection on a rolling basis because they don't want to wait till the last person submits. So the earlier it is, the better for you. Some, not all. Right. Okay. I hope you all are moving. Are you all with me? Let me see chat box if you are following. Are we on the same page? I want to see our responses in the chat box. Are we on the same page? Let me see if I can get 15 responses. We're about 60 here. Oh, okay, cool. It's okay. Thank you very much. I have a lot. All right. Okay. All right. So I hope we all are getting information about the Erasmus program. Are you getting quality information? All right. So I decided to take you through that for you to know how to search for programs because it is very much needed. And you use these key terms. Many people don't know these things. They just apply for different programs. You need to apply for programs that you have higher chances of getting selected for. And that is why, aside one other thing that I'm not going to say because it takes another time is you have to go and check the course synopsis, the track. So for those who are going to be booking the one-on-one call with me, these are some of the things I will be sharing with them because I cannot share everything here. Or maybe I will do a video guide because you'll be asked, which country would you want to go through in your program? Every semester, every country has their own focus. So I'll do a guide on that because that also is very, very important. That will let them know if this person actually knows what he or she wants. So for example, let's say your program is on, let me say business analysis, and you have 3 tracks that you can pick from. Track 1 will take you to country A, B, and C. Track 2 will take you to country A, C, and B. Now, country A is general knowledge. Country B and C, they have different focus under business analysis. So if I'm saying that, okay, I am enrolling for this course on business analysis because I want to use business analysis to inform policy. But under the track, it is only country B that offers the program that would help you inform policy with business analysis. And you now go and pick country A and C. Then they will be so sure that you've not done your background work. So you have to be able to go through the track. So I'll try to do another video on that I will send on how these are things that help your selection. It's not just about applying for the program. It's not only about having a BSc that relates, but what are some of the secrets that would improve your application? All right, so let's just move ahead to the next slide. So I have taken my time to explain this, how to select programs. We've done a little bit of practical. The next would be, what are the components? Now you've gone through the programs. You have selected 3 programs. You've gone through the eligibility criteria. You've gone through the selection criteria. You've gone through the list of documents. You've done your study. You saw that, oh, your undergraduate relates to this program. You have the required experience. And how do you build a strong application? Because there are components. And here I brought out the key components. 5 key components of a strong application. The first one is your motivation letter. This motivation letter is where you are able to tell your story and you connect your passion and your goals to the program fit. You show that, for example, now I said, oh, from undergraduate, I had learned about this, and this problem. I started solving the problem. But it got to a point, I need more help. That help that I need, do they have it? That is just simple. I showed them that I have started doing something to solve this problem. And I saw that in the program, they are training people to solve that problem. So you must be able to connect the dots, your story, that is the problem statement. I'll go deeper into the motivation later after this. So you have, that is where you connect your story, you connect your passion, and see that your passion and your goal, what you want to achieve, is what the program can offer. What you want to achieve is what the program can offer. So let's do a quick quiz. If I want to be fit, where do I go to? If I want to be fit and I want to be strong, where do I go to? Yes? Thank you very much. Gym. Very good. Perfect. Just use the chat box. Gym. Perfect. That means if I want to go to a school, I'll go to the school of gym to be fit. If I am hungry, where do I go to? If I am hungry, where do I go to? I'm hungry. We can use the chat box, please. Restaurants. Can you see that? Why not go to the gym? Thank you. E3. Exactly. Why not go to the gym? Because the gym does not have what I need. So if I go to the gym and the person asks me, what do you need? I say I need food. They will reject. No, go. That's the same thing for application. I just broke it down for you in simple terms. You should apply for the program that has what you need. Why? Because these committees are very selective. They want to select people who can drive impact. I would not want to waste my time to build somebody up as an engineer and the person goes out to be doing modeling as a career. Do you understand? So that is how it is. Go where you are wanted. That is how it is. So from your professional letter, they want to see that, okay, this person has malaria. Do we have the drugs for malaria? Yes, we have the drugs for malaria. Oh, good. Oh, this person has this so and so problem. Oh, no, we don't solve this problem. You must make sure that that is the background, the framework of a motivation letter. Then secondly, your academic CV. Your academic CV must now showcase your journey and highlight the experience that shows that you are ready for the study. From your academic, from your CV, they would see your academics, they will see your work experience that show, okay, this person has been in has this job experience, professional experience that shows that they are creative, they are progressive driven, they know how to navigate challenges because master's program is very tasky. You can't go there and be crying. Even if you want to cry, you cry in your room. After you cry, the next morning you brace up. That's for people that cry. If you are overwhelmed, it shows that this person has faced some challenges before in life. The next component is your transcript. Your transcript is an evidence that you meet the entry requirements. Your transcript will show them the course you have taken that relates to that master's program. That is why I said that make sure that your undergraduate course has a linkage to your master's program. So for me, even though I studied fisheries and aquaculture, I took courses on marine resources, on physical oceanography, on aquatic ecology, on water quality assessment. Can you see it? And I am going to study courses that relate to that. They will have to go through your transcript. And then also your English language proficiency. Depending on whatever is required, you must demonstrate your ability to thrive in an international environment. And then also your reference. Your reference is what validates. Your people will recommend you. They would, because if you are saying you did A, B, C, and D, and your referee is saying something else, they know that you are lying. Right? So these are each components. That is, you have to think also when you are selecting references, let it be lecturers that know about your undergraduate activities, your projects, even your work experience. So this is another because we're doing different workshops for academic CV, how to develop academic CV, strong one. And for some programs, they use Europass. So if you can do Europass, maybe I would even do a video too for those that on how to use Europass, because many of the Erasmus program requires Europass CV. But that's not why we're here. So I'm just giving us the basics on how you can unlock global opportunity through Erasmus Mundus. Now, we've spoken about what Erasmus is, how to search for a program. Now we're talking about how to build a strong application. So let's move to the next one. Now, your motivation letter. Usually, motivation letter are in 4 or 5 paragraphs. 4 or 5 paragraphs. And I'll just go through them briefly. The first one is start with the problem statement. Now, you can start your problem statement by facts, using facts and statistics. According to the United Nations, 6 out of 10 communities are suffering from XYZ, blah, 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 blah. In Nigeria, the figure is extreme. Or in Nigeria, the gap is multifaceted. Then you go deep, you use figures. Now, you talk about the problem, not abuse your country. Please take notes. Talk about the problem. Because newsflash, every country has their problem. That's the newsflash. It's the way you portray it. Newsflash. There's the issue of poverty. It's a global phenomenon, right? So, however, in your problem statement, you must talk about how it relates to your own country. So the way I will talk about marine pollution in my own country will be different from the way someone else in India will talk about it. And that is where they know that, okay, this person is not using a generic statement. So your first paragraph should talk about a problem statement. What problem do you want to address? That's a very good intro. So you can use fact or you use your personal experience. Oh, while growing up in 2004, the XYZ flooding episode that damaged 13 states out of XYZ states in Nigeria did this and that. Particularly, my house was washed and this was that. And since that day, I decided to build just use that narrative, well structured. I won't go deeper. So the first paragraph is your problem statement. That is where you use either facts or personal experience. Then the next paragraph is your education. In this place, you describe your undergraduate studies. Then in 20 this and that, I graduated from blah blah blah. If you had a very good rank, good. I graduated in the first class, second class, upper, this top 10%, if you know the rank you fall under, and you took relevant courses in, you now list 3 to 5 relevant courses that relate to some of the courses you'll be taking in your program. And mind you, you must know something. Please note this. The master's program has different pathways. So let me give you an example. My program is marine environment. There are some people who apply to take this course because they want to strengthen their capacity in marine entrepreneurship. Can you see it? While I am taking the course because I want to strengthen my expertise in ecological assessment and pollution control. So when I am talking about the program, I would link my previous courses that I have taken before that relate to marine pollution control only. Can you see it? So you talk about relevant courses, you talk about your thesis. What did you write about and what was the result? Talk about your publication if you have any and your presentations. You see, many times we do not even understand why we are asked to make presentations in school. So you talk about your educational experience. Then if the paragraph is, I think a paragraph is about 5 to 7 sentences or 6 sentences. When you look at it and see that, okay, you are still within the word limit, you can create another paragraph for work, volunteering, and others. Here you talk about your extracurricular activities that shows your level of creativity, that shows your proactiveness, that shows how independent you are, and also shows other things you've done that relate to solving the problem. So for example, my problem statement would be, out of XYZ coastal communities in Nigeria, over XYZ are facing ecological jeopardy, right? In Nigeria, different reports and studies have shown that our ecological ecosystem are in jeopardy, right? I say one or two things. Then I come to the next paragraph. I describe my recent educational experience. While studying fishes and aquaculture at the XYZ University of this, I took relevant courses in water quality assessment, blah, 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 blah. And these courses improved my knowledge or introduced me to advanced knowledge on XYZ. During my undergraduate, I conducted an assessment at these communities, and I discovered, can you see that? So you use that to build up. It shows that you do not only know about the problem, but you are also taking actionable steps to solve the problem. And I will talk about my thesis, which shows that I have good research experience. So you must talk about your thesis, very, very important. And you talk about what skills. So what skills did you learn doing your thesis? That's what we call your undergraduate project, right? How to analyze data, data analysis, communication, scientific writing, scientific presentation. You talk about the skills that you learned during this experience. And if you published it, good. Then you say that, okay, the result of your thesis was published at XYZ, this is this, to inform policy. So you talk about everything that relates to your education. While your Your next paragraph will talk about your work, volunteering, and every other activities. Maybe you did internship, you received some awards while you were in school, or you got some support or some funding, some global recognitions. They come in here in the third paragraph. You did some trainings that are related to the program. So you can't say everything. That is why you have to be specific. You talk about those that would improve your chances of selection. If it's possible, for example, now, most of my job experience, they were in organizations that were working towards marine conservation. In fact, all of them. So for me, it was not only giving me job experience, also helping me to solve the problem using project management. Can you see that? So you bring that in here at the third paragraph. Then the fourth paragraph, you now talk about the program. Why are you choosing this program? What exactly do you need? You talk about the program and how it's going to help you by equipping you with X, Y, Z skill to do this and this. Now, this place would tell if you were lying in your problem statement. Because to solve a problem, you need to have some tools. So in this program here, you talk about those tools that you want to get. What capacity do you want to enhance to solve that problem? Then they would know. Then you now link how some courses would help you to what? So building those skill sets. Talk about the courses you're looking forward to, and why are you also choosing some pathways? Because they will ask you to choose what pathway you want to go. Some would ask you, oh, this country, I'm selecting this country because this university has XYZ courses that I would benefit from. These courses has this country that I would benefit from. So you would see the pathways that you can follow there, and each team for each pathways. Very important. Then you talk about the countries, how you love to learn from a multi-diverse, environment, how you like to visit some places in some countries to know more about their culture. Talk about that in the program and schools. Then the fifth paragraph would now be your future plans. When you are done with the program, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with it? So that is where you now know that what you have studied, is it for Gary? No. Is it for Eba? No. What is it for? Tell us. You tell them what you want to do immediately. Like, what's the first thing you want to do once you are done? Then after 3 to 5 years, what would you do? Then on the long term, what would you do? So they want to know your plan. Like the person we are training, does this person have a plan, have a focus in life? So now, when you have word limits, which means that in fact they want you to be so precise. Someone said the word limit is, yes, they want you to be so precise. That's the meaning. Go straight to the point. Now, another thing you should do is this workshop cannot allow us to do everything. Another good approach, divide each paragraph into words. Now, you see, your educational and work experience, both of them should amount for up to 60% of the total number words you are using, because this is where you demonstrate. Your problem statements can be very brief. Then, of course, 3, 4 lines. If you know what you are doing, you're able to explain the problem. Your future plans too. But you see, the education and your work experience is very, very important, because it's just like I said, it's like a job application. You would not employ someone who would give you more problems. You are employing people to solve problems for you. So that's just the background and narrative around that. And then after that motivation letter, there are also some things that you need to start doing. So building a strong profile. CGPA is very important. Usually, most schools ask for minimum of second class upper. Now, why some would have, in fact, second class upper, first class they would neglect other aspects. So these are just 4 key aspects that you need to be focused on while you are preparing to apply. You need to strengthen every area: your academics, your volunteering and leadership experience, publication, awards and recognitions, your profile on social media. What are you talking about? Can they get areas where they would see about you? What are you putting out there about the problem you have identified? So for me, when they went through my LinkedIn, they saw that, oh my God, I've been working years on this, posting about this problem, about my project. I've been out there, right? So then also your professional and research experience. You remember you're applying for an academic position. So your professional experience, like how have you dealt with real life projects, work? Then your research experience. All of these things should show well in your CV, and they must all relate. Your academic excellence must relate to your program. I've said that before. If possible, check your general CV. What of your work experience relates to the role, relates to the studies? If there is none that relates, pick the key ones that shows that you have work experience. It shows that you are creative. You know how to think outside of the box. Then, of course, everybody has a research experience if you have done your master's thesis. So you should be able to highlight your master's thesis as your undergraduate research experience. That's 6 months, right? Then you talk about your publications, books that you have written, recognitions, trainings, then your volunteering and leadership experience. See, you can't play with that. Oh. Your volunteering experience has shown that with the little capacity that you have, what have you done? They need people, they don't need people who can talk. They need people who are leaders, even in their space. That's just it. They select leaders because they are sure that if they train 10 leaders, at least 5, they have this inbuilt character to what? To practice what they've learned. They've been doing it before they got selected. So they only want to push them further. So these 4 key components are very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. All right. Now, in your application, what are some common mistakes you should avoid? Number 1, miss deadline. Miss deadline. Generic motivational statements. Motivational statements that are not even personal to you. You just write, the problem statement is generalized. It's not linked to a fact towards your own country or your own community. I also want to say, okay, then not meeting the eligibility requirements. Applying for programs out of focus. Some people, they want to just leave Nigeria or leave their country. They will apply for, no, you have to be focused. Applying for ineligible programs, you must make sure that you meet the eligibility. If you don't have all the documents, then work towards the next year. For example, Chevin scholarship. This year, Chevin said, if you do not have 2 years working experience, you cannot apply. So those who wish to apply that have 1 year experience have to build their profile for the next year. Then also incomplete application. I have sat on panels that reviewed some job openings, and the first thing we do is, whenever we want to review, the first people that we remove are those with incomplete application. We first remove them so that we can focus on quality applications. Not another of scholarships. So how do you improve your application? Number 1, you have to plan early. You have to plan early. For me, I think the application opened in November or December. I had gotten all my documents since, I think by July, August. My documents are already ready. Then also get an alumni or a scholar to review your essay, right? Maybe a scholar in the program you want to apply for, an Erasmus Mundus scholar who can review your essay and other documents for you. Then in your essays, make sure you bring in your examples. That makes your work authentic. Bring in your examples. Oh, I did this, I did this. Let them see what you have done. Don't be vague. Be clear and concise. You don't need to use big words. Use clear words. Why? Because some of the experts reviewing your work, they might not be from your field. So you have to be clear and concise. Please, you have to be authentic in your motivation letter. Don't kill your parents while they are still alive. Don't kill some people will be lying. Their father died while they were young. It has been hard. If your father is alive, don't kill him. If your mother is alive, don't kill her. Be authentic. What is your own motivation? Please don't kill your parents while they are still alive. So be what is motivating you to study? So that is very, very important. All right, so we are almost moving to the end of and I'll be ending the session with this word by Chris Grosser, which is opportunities don't happen, you create them. I've heard countless times people say, oh, those that got it, they are just lucky. And they are just lucky. And it's not like we can't do what they are doing or this or that. But you neglect the effort, the hard work that the person has put into the application. And one thing you should know is luck is selective. Luck would go to people who have prepared, people who are consistent and who are disciplined. Just say that they are just lucky now. And when you start telling them what to do or how to improve their applications or how to, you need to, first of all, I want everyone here to, first of all, erase the mindset of, I'll just do it sharpishly. Or those that got lucky. No, they worked hard. So opportunities do not just happen. You have to create them. And with that, we have come to the end of the session. Questions and answer time. Thank you so much, everyone. So I'll be taking in 1 or 2 questions. 1 or 2 questions. If there are 1 or 2 questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying through. Let me see. Okay, let's take the first person, Adenike Adedeji. Adenike Adedeji. I'm asking you to unmute. All right, I'll just go to the next person. Abiola.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Scholar Paul, for today's session. I want to confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so my question is actually unique. It regards, I applied for one of the Erasmus programs